Hello, all you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of The Orb. We are at Lobstercon 2024, the largest in-person old school event there has been. I believe we had something like 243 entries, and we are down to the final 4 decks. Unless you were standing around this table, you have not seen this game. So great news, it was an epic battle. And it's going to unfold in front of us right now. We have Lucas, we have Rich, both hailing from the Boston area. And both on the deck. So we'll take a look at those decks. We'll also take a quick look at the others that made it all the way down to the top 4. So here's a look at David's deck. He also made it down to the top 4. Lion Dib Burn, full burn package. I mean, we've seen this deck a bunch already. It's made the video a handful of times. It's been piloted by a couple different old schoolers that apparently run in the exact same 75, so super efficient deck. Also bringing in the top 4 is Jens's Robots deck. He's got these Robo Terminators. They're backed up by lightning bolts and some copy artifacts. We just saw this last video. He's been on video a few times too, swinging through the day. So again, he, I believe, is the only undefeated player at this point. Hasn't had a loss all day. Here's a look at Lucas's deck. He's not the end boss for no reason. He's on the deck and he pilots as well. Again, he won last year Lobstercon, so he's showing up in the top 4, looking to take back-to-back victories. One thing I noticed in his deck, and I've never really looked at it well before. He's played it a lot, he's piloted a lot. That's why he does it so well. Time Twister is in the sideboard because who needs the power 9? And then the other restricted draw 7, Wheel of Fortune, is nowhere to be found in the 75. So I think, and maybe I'm wrong, and when I think of the deck, I've only built it twice. I've never even played it. I tear it apart before I play it. But I like the idea of it. I always thought they had the draw 7s. That's how they regain from a mind twist or something like that. I'm probably wrong. I'm obviously wrong because I don't pilot it. But that piqued my interest. Is 2 of the Abyss, 1 moat in the sideboard, and then he just wants to draw with the book, right? Answer 1-for-1s across the board, get ahead with card advantage. He'll recall his Ancestral and play it again on you. So next up we have Rich, who's also piloting the deck, and I believe him and Lucas, because they are from the same area and play together a lot, have refined it down. Rich, I know last year I think we played and he was playing Amnesia in the deck as a second mind twist, because once the deck really just wants to get rid of your cards before it feels comfortable jamming in the factories, ideally for the win, or that fireball. It really wants to take out your hand, so his thought process is, instead of waiting for Mind Twist, Amnesia, right? Just jam that in, make him discard anything but land cards. And plus they have to reveal the hand, so just empties out the hand. One more option. I can see he's elected not to do that, but I did look at his lineup versus Lucas, because that's, I mean, we're getting ready to watch the match, and the main thing is Lucas has 1 more Divine Offering, and Rich has a Mirror Universe. I think that's the only difference in their 60 card main deck. And then if we look at the sideboard, they're almost identical also. I know Lucas is running a Falling Star, and Rich opts for a Tormont's Crypt. That takes care of those, bizarre undead decks, the Animate Dead decks, the All Hallows Eve decks. And I mean, with Time Twister back in there, really, if your opponent does it, you can cut them kind of off at the knees, right? Take out part of their deck. I've heard Rich talk about that before. And just play on with the game now that they've lost so many of their disenchants and so many of their counter spells. It becomes tough for them to win. So, I've said enough. Let's get on to the games. And here we go with game number 1. Lucas is on the top. Rich is on the bottom. Lucas is on the play. He's going to have to send one back from taking a mulligan. Ooh, fires out a Underground Sea, a Sapphire, and an Emerald with a pass back to Rich. Rich finds a Tundra, Moxen of his own, and a Demonic Tutor. Rich is off to find his favorite fucking card in the deck. Pretty explosive start. Lucas finding a Plains and a Fellwar Stone. And just a pass back. I think we're going to have a lot of draw goes here. Rich fires down a Tundra and a pass. There's the first factory. So at some point they're going to start eating at each other's resources. And then whoever ultimately draws the most cards is going to win. I mean, that's typically what happens. Although I have seen the deck race me. Just factory, and just beat me to death immediately. I think Rich did that to me on video here, so it happens. Luke is still deciding his next move. Oh, look at this. Aggressively using his strip mine. Going ahead to try and take Rich off of double blue. Knock out one of his Tundras. No ability to counterspell. I think I can see why. Oh, look at that. Rich fires off an Ancestral. Lucas, I can see his hand. He does have a Brain Geyser hanging there. Oh, ouch. Rich finds the Tundra immediately. Replaces it and pitches the Abyss. That thing's not needed. He knows what he's up against. It's funny, they have these dead cards in their hand that, or not necessarily in their hand, in their deck that do absolutely nothing. Oh, look at this. Regrowth on Strip Mine. And Rich does have a counterspell. That would have been big. Oh, Lucas shows up with a Chaos Orb. And a pass. Just a show of force sitting on the board. And Rich finds another factory and a recall for 2. This is going to be big. Oh, this is going to hurt. Ancestral definitely. Demonic Tutor, there we go. Those are pretty good cards. He's got 5 in hand. And 2 powerhouses. Lucas looking to come back here. He wants to draw 4 more cards. And does so with a Brain Geyser. So, pretty solid comeback there. Plays out a Lotus and Mishra's Factory. Lucas cracking the Lotus, tapping the Factory. Here comes a book. He definitely wants to keep card advantage in his favor. Ancestral Recall. Yeah, pretty good. That same Ancestral Recall, that's the second time it's been cast. Yeah, Demonic Tutor still in Rich's hand there. Looks like Rich is tapping 2, recasting Demonic Tutor. Not a whole lot Lucas can do about that. And once again, he's off to find his favorite fucking card. It's no longer Ancestral Recall, as he's cast that twice. I mean, that is pretty good. 2 Demonic Tutors, 2 Ancestral Recalls. I should try that sometime. That seems pretty big. Plays a Volcanic and a Time Walk. If you do it once, might as well do it again. Take another turn. I mean, it seems like every card these guys are playing are haymakers. New Underground Sea, Rich tapping 5, pitching Balance, pitching his Mirror Universe, doesn't need that thing, Time Walk. What else is he going to grab here? I mean, at this point it feels like he's just going to Twiddle Vault himself into eternity without the Twiddle Vault. Time Walk, taking turn 3 in a row. I mean, Lucas is pinned. Everything's tapped. Ancestral Recall has been cast 3 times by Rich. That is, I mean, huge. 9 cards ahead. Playing a Felwar Stone. Disenchant on the book. Wow. And just a pass. After watching that, you have to feel a little violated. Is that how you're supposed to play old school? It seems, man. That was a big turn. Big 3 turns. Yeah, I think Lucas is starting to feel like he's falling further and further behind. Has 3 in hand. Gonna go ahead and activate and come in. First blood of the game. Rich drops to 18. Oh, look at this. Lightning Bolt for the factory, though, after damage is done. Oh, that's it for the factory. Rich just revoked that factory worker's birth certificate. Straight to the bin. Rich showing up with a Chaos Orb of his own and just a pass back. Lucas does a draw go. Rich shows up with another factory. Got 3 of the 4 out in play. Passes back to Lucas. More draw go action. Rich takes his first. Rich takes 1 damage. First damage from the City of Brass. It drops down to 17 for a regrowth. Picks up a Demonic Tutor and tries to use and abuse that thing for a 3rd time this game, and he is off, finding his 3rd favorite card in his fucking deck. This is wild. Looks like just a pass back to Lucas. Lucas playing out of City of Brass. Tapping 2. Ooh, disenchant on Felwar Stone. Activating Chaos Orb. He's making some moves here. Rich responding, Divine Offering on Chaos Orb. Lucas wants to play an Ancestral Recall of his own, and it goes through. It's pretty big. But he does lose his Chaos Orb. Rich gets 2 life back, goes back up to 19. Ooh. Lucas trying to time walk, but Rich has got a drain life. And look at that. Lucas fires off a Mind Twist. Both these players now have no hand. Wow. That was a big back and forth. But that does leave Rich free to swing in with his factories. Comes in for 6. Lucas drops down to 13. Lucas has a Lightning Bolt and a Disenchant. 2 quick answers, kills 2 factories. That's huge. But he does drop down to 11. Wow. This game is moving right along. Factory coming in again. Oh, that's tough. Lucas is down to 9. Rich is still propped up on 19. I mean, and with that Mind Twist, you can see Rich did go grab a Mind Twist. That was one of the cards he discarded in his hand. So, crazy interaction to get down to nothing. Lucas set it off, I guess. I mean, he knew it was coming, and he who has the most factories winneth. There's a balance played, though. Wow, that's big. Lucas has way more Moxen out. Rich has a ton of land in play. Rich running with 7 lands right now in play. Lucas only has 4, so he's going to lose 3. Oh, wow, he activates double swords his own factory to make Lucas discard his hand. That was huge. Rich gains a couple more life, goes up to 21. Lucas is down to 9. Rich has to throw some lands in play. I mean, these guys are throwing haymakers back and forth, willing to punish themselves just to punish their opponent. I love it. They are draw going like crazy. Rich does find a library. Oh, and you see, yeah, Rich has opted not to play anything, wants to build up to 7 cards. Makes sense. The strip mine is at the bottom of Lucas's graveyard. Oh, Lucas showing up in the library of his own, though. Wow. So far into this, and may turn both players into a library game. You can see him just ripping cards from their deck. Rich gets to activate his first. Looks like Lucas is up to about 5 cards in hand. Now up to 6. Rich grabs another card. Look at Lucas rifling through his graveyard. I think Lucas still has something like maybe 2 or 3 factories left in his deck. Rich, I believe, only has 1. They're both running the Fireball. A few outs here. Oh, Rich has the Chaos Orb. Clean flip. judges from Boston give it a 10.0. Nice hit. Library's offline. Quick look through Rich's graveyard. I mean, their decks have to be getting relatively thin. I mean, in a sideboard game, here's where that Tormod's Crypt would come in too. Time Twister. Kill the Crypt, crypt your opponent, and then you're just so far ahead it doesn't matter. Alright, Lucas is up to something. He's tapping almost all his brown mana. And a few lands. Recall, that's a big one. Holy goodness. Is that for 4 cards? Yeah, Recall for 4. Lucas has a counterspell, Rich has a counterspell. Rich has a second counterspell. Lucas does not. Ouchie. He does have 2 lands still open. That would have been a big recall. Oh, there's the book. Lucas stacking up his lands, passes over to Rich. Rich draws with his book. I mean, he's getting, 3 cards a turn to Lucas's 1. Lucas does have a counterspell in hand. Looks like he has a bunch of mana along with that counterspell. New book is hit play. Wow. That's, I mean, at this point he can draw up to 4 cards a turn. That's wild. Using one of the books. Yeah, draws with Loa, draws for turn. There's Lotus. Tundra. Counting up lands, that's always dangerous. Get, is it 10 in that pile? Yeah, tapping 10. Fireball for 9. That's where Lucas is at. Each had a counterspell. Fireball goes through. Wow, don't blink. So that was a wild game number 1. Rich taking it down with the fireball. Lucas on the play, but starts with a mulligan. Oh man, Rich finding a Loa. Opening hand. See if Lucas has an answer. He's got 2 blue up and a factory down. So, by all means, not a bad start. He fires off a Brain Geyser for 1. Very aggressive. I mean, he knows, yeah, you got to answer that Loa, and you got to do it pretty quick. Lucas finding a volcanic. Oh, that's an answer. Not the best one, but not the worst one. Taps 4, plays a book out. Yeah, Rich has the Disenchant. It's the deck for a reason, has all the right answers. He's tapping that Loa so much, I think he's burning a hole in the back of it. Had to triple sleeve it just for that. I mean, that's what that thing's used for. It's here to win games. Tapping 2, time walking. That's pretty good. Also has a Lotus hanging out there. just as a show of strength. Firing off an Ancestral Recall. I think that's a good card too. Wow. Things are not shaping up well for Lucas. Rich is doing all the right things. Just casually drops out an Underground Sea and 2 Moxen. Lucas plays an Underground Sea of his own. Rich is reading with his library and now trying to read with this book. Plays down a James Day Tome. Yeah. I mean, now every turn it's going to be like he's ancestraling. He's going to draw with the book, draw with the library. Pretty good. Lucas brought in his Sarah Angel. Casts it out. Rich says, let me think about it. I'm going to go to my library. And then I'm going to read my book. Does both. Taps 1. Sends her back to the farm. Lucas gets 4 life, which I'm sure he's not interested in. Goes up to 24. His Sarah Angel is out of the game. Rich also Divine Offering the Felwar Stone. Looks like Rich got a little jealous, wanted some extra life of his own. He runs up to 22. Oh, Rich discarding 2 cards. One of the cards he discarded was a James Day Tome. Didn't need that thing as he's already drawn 3 cards a turn. Wow. If Lucas was a Millstone player, he'd probably be drooling right now. I would be, at least. Rich again, attacking resources. Disenchant on the Mox Sapphire. That's so tough. Lucas has 4 cards in hand. And a Divine Offering to the book. Runs himself up to 28 life. It's going to be a fireball this time. It's going to have to be a big fireball. Tapping 2 for a Chaos Orb. Taking a walk through his library again. We can see Lucas's hand. He's got, I believe, 2 red elemental blasts and a Divine Offering in hand, so he has plenty of answers. And here comes another book. There's that Divine Offering. Wow. Lucas runs up to 32 life. Ooh, Lucas playing out of balance. This is one way to get back in the card advantage game. I mean, it doesn't equalize out all the cards, but it does help. And it'll also take him off his Loa plan. Rich says, let me think about it. I'll be in my library. Taps his Loa again. Taps a Sapphire and a Tundra. Oh, nope. Oh, the balance is going through. Wild. Rich is going to discard down to 3. Lucas has 3 in hand. Rich has got a couple extra lands. Yep. Lucas got 5 lands in play, so Rich is definitely keeping that Loa. Wow, that was a pretty big balance. Looks like we're getting an activation on the Chaos Orb. Rich after the Volcanic Island. Nice clean flip. Volcanic's down. Now look how deep into this game we are. And Lucas only has 4 mana sources left. Strip Mine takes out the Underground Sea. Wow. Lucas down to 3 mana sources. That's crazy. Rich Brain Geysering for 5. That's pretty big. Back up to 7 cards in the hand. Guess that's why you let the balance slide. Yeah, Low is back online. Looks like Rich does an upkeep draw with it. Here comes a Factory. Taps 1 for a Soul Ring. 2 more for a Demonic Tutor. Rich grabbing his absolutely new favoritist card in the deck. Quick draw go on Lucas's part. Here comes a Felwar Stone. Plays out an Underground Sea too. Just a pass. Lucas taps 3, wants to recall for 1. Pitches a Fireball for the balance. Wants to do it again. Not a bad idea with how far behind he's become again. I mean, Lucas needs like a Shatterstorm right now. And 1 more red mana. Ouchie. Here comes the Mind Twist. Lucas's hand gets dumped. Oh, and that's it. Lucas knows, yeah, he's out of cards, and he's so far behind. Concedes game number 2. Here's Rich talking about using the Tormod script against him. So, thanks for watching the Orb. Congratulations to everyone that made it to the top 4. And we'll see Rich battling it out on the next video with the finals. Good night.
How about new, you crazy Dutch bastard?